What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. This is Useless Builds. In the last video you guys saw as I unboxed the intake manifold that was imported directly from the UK. It was pretty cool getting that custom manifold opened up. I was then able to get the bike carbs on top of it and test fit and see how they actually fit. You don't see in the video, but I did buy special couplers for it to make it fit. After that, I had to make my own gasket. Unfortunately, the gasket for this car is just unobtainium. I didn't want to deal with the cheap aftermarket gasket, so that's why I ended up making my own. But you can go check out that video if you want to see that gasket being made. After that, I was able to finally mock up the carbs on the car, get them fitted. It's a really surreal moment to see the carbs actually on the car. It looks so good in my opinion. But in this video, you'll be able to see it actually run with those carbs and see how it's going to idle. Today, we're going to do the fuel system on the Porsche. So I got a brand new fuel pump here. This is the filter to filter the tank into the pump. I got a brand new fuel line to run the entire car, so we're going to replace all the fuel line. And then I got some vacuum / additional fuel line for the itbs because they have really weird little fittings on them, and I need to make sure that those aren't fuel related, so if I have to loop them all together, I will. So we got that. Also got a box of clamps here. Last time you saw the Porsche, we were putting the thing together, getting the carbs on there. We got the carbs all mounted up. They are bolted down now. I gotta put that ground strap on back there, but so they're bolted down. So now we're gonna work on the fuel system and see if we can get this thing to run for a change. I got it up on ramps in the back, and we're gonna climb underneath there. And we're going to check what we got to do with the fuel tank and stuff. I do know the fuel sending unit in it is good, and I assume that the fuel pump's mounted underneath. I haven't actually fully looked into that yet, so we're going to swap that out. This is my first time under the car. It looks like someone already pulled the fuel pump out, because I'm pretty sure it should have attached to this. Alright, right here, this is probably where the fuel pump was mounted. These little isolators. Alright, so that makes sense. So yeah, the fuel pump sat right there. I also just realized that this car has no brakes at all. The entire drum system's gone. They just mounted the drum to the hub. That's actually hilarious. I guess just so they can roll it. I have all the drum brakes, but that's going to be fun putting that back together because we all know none of us like drum brakes. But I got to figure out what's going on here. Unbolt this. Slide it out and see. Maybe this is a lift pump and that's a high pressure fuel pump, but if that's the case we don't need this anymore. But I got to figure out how to get fuel out of the fuel tank, so let's get to that. Alright, so a few things I figured out. This is a lift pump. It screws into the tank and then this powers it on. We're going to delete that. We're going to just cap this off and not use the lift pump. Instead, we're going to use the return setup, and we're going to use the return for our fuel pump. I'll just replace this line here, and I'll leave my plastic line alone that runs all the way under the car there and goes on up all the way to the front. So we'll just use a return system line instead of using the full fuel line. Alright, so we got the fuel pump mounted. I put some little rubber isolators up inside there so that it's not like just hard mounted to metal. But now that we got that run, we need to run a fuel line from here to here. This is going to be our fuel into the fuel pump. And then we need to run a line from here up to the plastic line, which is this one right here. So we'll run a line there to there, and then a line here to here. It'll be good. Alright, so we got it all plumbed up. We got our fuel line into the fuel pump. And we have our fuel line out of the fuel pump up into the plastic line, and it runs up the length of the car. Now I just need to wire up the fuel pump. I probably don't have to put an inline fuse here because it's to the fuel pump, so it should be a fused and relayed system. So I'm just going to run it off of these lines right here if it'll focus. So we're going to cut the ends off these, put terminals so I can make it a plug so I can plug and unplug it. Alright, so I got this wired up. I'm actually going to unplug these real quick, and I'll put heat shrink around these as well. But everything's pretty much done under here. Now we need to work up front in the engine bay. Alright, so we got our fuel line run down here. This is the original return line. This is where the regular fuel filter used to be. I'm going to put an inline filter right in here somewhere. But we got the lines run up to the carbs. I finally put the actual intakes on the carbs, tightened them down with the clamps, and took all the plastic film off. So the only thing I really have left to do up here is I gotta cap off all the original injectors. I think I was gonna use the original lines and then plumb them into the vacuum ports. I think that might be a pretty good idea. So we'll run the vacuum port down here like this, so all of these run into them, and then we'll run a fitting through them that goes over here. Actually, I don't think I need to mess with that. That's for the brake booster. So yeah, we'll just run each one of these lines down to each injector, so the vacuum ports will be equalized across all 4 cylinders. Alright, so I got the original injectors all plumbed up to each other, so they're just vacuum ports at this point. 1 and 4 connect each other, and 2 and 3 connect each other. And then the ports on the actual throttle bodies up under here. So there, and there. Those all 4 connect into each other to equalize the vacuum across all 4 carburetors. And then the last one down here, this last port, I'm just going to run to the brake booster so I have vacuum boost on my brakes. Well, boys and girls, I am exhausted. There you have it. For the first time, we have heard the Porsche run with itbs, and I couldn't be more happy. I've got a whole bunch of more work still to do, but it is nice. I got the fuel system on there. I do need to do a few more things, like this setup right here. I need to switch this up. This was just temporary to get fuel in, but one of these needs to be a return and the other one's going to be fuel in. So I'll figure that out once I get to it. I wasn't thinking straight when I did this carb setup. I forgot I need a return setup on the carb. So I'll run the return down the original pressure side of the Porsche, and it'll go back into the tank and we'll be good there. But there you have it. For the first time we heard it run. I'm so excited. I can't wait to drive this thing. I still got to put the transmission in it. I'm still looking for that coupler right there. It is so hard to find that piece that's in like decent shape, that's not astronomically priced. The ones I can find for actual sale are like $250. I'm like, I could buy a whole transmission for that. So there you have it. It runs. Thanks for watching. Make sure to hit the subscribe button, and watch out for the next videos.